Getting access token from Amazon Cognito using Postman. Hello everyone, my name is Ankush Jain, and in this video I will show you how you can retrieve access token from Amazon Cognito using Postman. We will cover two grant types in this video. First one is the authorization code grant and second one is implicit grant. On this page I have mentioned all the steps that we are going to cover in this video. So let's process step by step. First step, create an Amazon Cognito instance. For that, I will take you on my AWS console. Here you can search for Cognito and click on this icon. From here you have to create a user pool. On authentication provider, leave this field as default, and now in user pool sign in option select email. Click next. For password policy, go with the defaults. For multi-factor authentication, select no MFA. For user account recovery, just leave the defaults. For self-service sign up, leaving everything default on this screen as well. On required attributes, just select name, or even if we don't select it, that is also fine. So for the simplicity, I am not selecting name. Okay, press next. For email, select send email with Cognito. Select next. For the user pool name, so we are giving a demo for Postman. So I will type it Postman demo user pool. Select Cognito hosted UI, and here also copy the same user pool name and use a Cognito domain. So just paste the same here. Okay, so now we are going to create an app client. So we are creating this Cognito because we have to obtain an access token from this Cognito user pool. For that, we will be having we will be using two grant types, authorization code and implicit grant. So for authorization code grant, we are going to create an application or application client. So here select public client and authorization, or I can type it code grant app client. For client secrets, generate a client secret. Allowed callback URL. So I have provided the callback URL here. So just copy this and paste here. And for advanced app client settings, so make sure that this is for advanced app client settings, for authentication flows, go with the defaults. And for identity providers, make sure Cognito user pool is selected. And for grant types, we are using authorization code grant. For OID connect scopes, select all the scopes. Now click next and then scroll down to the bottom, create user pool. So user pool has been created. Okay, now move to the next step. Create a dummy user. Since we have to obtain the access token, so we have to create a dummy user and we have to authenticate ourselves in order to obtain the access token for that dummy user. So we have to create a dummy user first. And one more thing, I will provide you the link of this particular page in the description of YouTube video. So you can get onto this page from there. So let's go and create a dummy user. Select the user pool, click create user. Don't send an invitation email. I will select my email address. Okay, mark email as verified. Generate a password, or I can set a password. So I will just select for password. I am entering my password. Okay, now I will create this user. So user is also created. Now let's understand OAuth. So before we generate that access token through Postman, let's understand what is OAuth. I mean, we will quickly understand the both the flow, authorization code flow and implicit flow. So just click here. This is authorization code flow and click on this screen. So what happens in auth code flow when the user clicks on the login link on your regular web application, the user is redirected to an authorized endpoint, and this is the auth tenant, which is Cognito in our case. So Cognito will then redirect user to a login page where user will authenticate itself. So this is the login page. So once user is redirected to authorized endpoint will redirect the user to another login page, and user have to enter their username and password or their email ID or password there to authenticate themselves. So once user has authenticated and provided the consent, requested consents, then user will be redirected back to the redirect URL with authorization code. Okay, so now you will be thinking from where this redirect URL is coming. So remember, when you register the app client, you have also defined callback URL. So that is what a redirect URL. And you have also received a client ID and client secrets. Okay, so now after authentication, the identity provider, which is Cognito, will redirect you to your redirect URL. So for example, your redirect URL is this direct redirect url.com. Then you will get code in query parameter and it will have some value. Okay, next step, you will hit authorization token endpoint and you will pass everything, client ID, client secret, and the authorization code that you received in previous step. You will make a post request and from there you will get an access token and ID token, and that access token and ID token you can further pass to your APIs which are secured with Cognito, or you can use that access token or ID token to authenticate yourself. Okay, so this is how the code authorization flow works. You can also read it in detail from this page. I have provided the link. Second thing, implicit flow. Implicit flow, I have provided a link here as well. So this is basically taking you to Amazon's page, and here I have defined, not I have, sorry, Amazon has defined. So you can read this text. Basically, implicit flow. Okay, let me read it out. Only use the implicit grant when there is a specific reason that authorization code grant can't be used. In implicit grant, user pool tokens are exposed directly to end user. Okay, let me explain what happens. So I will go back to this page, authorization code flow, and open this image again. So now what happens? The process is similar till the time uh, till the fourth step. Okay, so now user have been redirected to authorized endpoint. Then the user has been redirected to login screen. User has provided the consent. So now the the consent has been provided at authorization tenant. Okay, this is which is Cognito. So now Cognito, instead of returning authorization code, it will directly return access token and ID token. So I mean, you are saving this particular step of getting token. So you don't have to send client ID and client secret and with an authorization code. So you don't have to make that post request on this token endpoint. You will directly get token in the fifth step. So that's why this is less recommended and less secure. But yeah, I mean, you should know what is it, and that's why I have explained you. Okay, so I'm closing this and this, and I think we have covered the second step. Now understanding authorization auth endpoints in Cognito. So I will select this. Okay, so you can see here authorize endpoint, token endpoint, and there are a lot of other endpoints. So these two endpoints, authorize endpoints and token endpoints, are similar to what which I have explained you in previous step. So authorized endpoint is something where you will be uh, a user will be redirected, and token endpoint is something which is used to get the access token. Okay, so you will see uh, them in picture in practically in the coming example. Okay, so now we are starting the practical demonstration of how to obtain an access token from Cognito using Postman. So let's begin. So move to Postman, click new, select HTTP request. In authorization, select O 2.0. Here you will see current token. Now scroll down, configure new token. Select authorization code grant. You can see the lot of options here, but select authorization code grant. In callback URL, which is you don't have to fill it because that is pre-filled. So that is already pre-filled. And if you see this URL is the same. Okay, let me close this. Is same which I have mentioned here, and which is same which we have provided while creating the app client. So let me open the app client as well. Okay, this is the app client. So now I will scroll up on the app integration, copy this and go back here in auth URL. Okay, so here I will paste it, and I will go again here and I will open understand auth endpoints link, and from here I will go authorize and I will copy this and I will paste it. Okay, and for token URL I will paste the same, but I will again go to token, copy this. So these are Cognito specific endpoints. Okay, yeah, I will fix this. So now I have provided auth URL, token URL, and now I have to provide client ID and client secret. So client ID, I will go in the app, select client ID, paste it, show client secret, copy, paste. Okay, for scope, leave it empty. So once you leave this scope empty when making a request, it means all the scopes which you have added in this app client will be available in your access token. So if you want to reduce the number of scopes, then you can provide the limited scope here, but for simplicity I am just leaving this blank. Okay, now I will click on get new access token. So you can see I am on login endpoint, and if you see, this is the login endpoint. So what happens if I again go to authorize endpoint? First, this Cognito, this Postman has redirected me to this authorize endpoint, and you can see authorize endpoint. Okay, so if you include an identity provider or ID, okay, if you read this whole sentence, you will see that if you have not added any identity provider like Google, Amazon, Facebook, then it will redirect you to the login endpoint of the Cognito itself. But if you have added those Google or Facebook, Amazon, or any other identity provider, then it would have redirected you to their own login page. Okay, so I am here. Now I will log in with my username and password. So I will enter my password which I created for dummy user, and I will click on sign in button. Okay, I have been asked to change my password, so I will change my password again. Now I have been redirected back to the callback URL that I have defined there. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, now I will open the Postman. Now authentication has been completed. Okay, now click on proceed. Okay, it will, I guess, automatically proceed. So you can see I have received the token, access token. And if you scroll down, the token type is bearer, and I have also received the ID token. I have also received the refresh token. That's great. Now I copy this ID token and I close this. I open jwd.io. I paste it here. So you can see signature has been verified and every the information is present here. So this is the email, this is the issuer URL, which is pointing to Cognito domain, and everything, I mean, whatever information expected in ID token is present here. And you have received this in Postman. And similarly, you can also, I don't know, copy is not working. So you can copy this information of access token here and also paste it here, the same. So you get, I mean, you are getting different payload here, username, not email, and uh, other data. So this is the base 64 information and you are getting decoded information here. So this is how we have received an access token for authorization code grant flow. And you can use this access token to test your APIs. Now I'm closing this. Okay, so now coming to another point. Okay, I have not mentioned here, yeah, but implicit grant. I have already told you that this is less recommended and this is not secure, but still I'm showing you how to obtain an access token using implicit grant. Okay, so for that I will again go to my user pool, select app integration and create another app, create app client. Now name it implicit grant. Oh, what was the name of my previous app client? Yeah, client. Now remember, don't generate a client secret here. Okay, you don't need to generate a client secret for implicit grant. And for authentication flow, go with the defaults. For allowed callback URL, okay, now make sure this is selected implicit and copy the same. Copy, paste it here. uh, okay, Cognito user pool for identity providers. For O2 grant types, remove code grant because we are not using code grant, we are using implicit. Okay, now select all. I mean, this doesn't matter if you select all or you select one or two, because the token will have that much of information, ID token. So, but yeah, for I mean, I'm selecting all. Okay, now just create app client. Okay, so we have created our second app, and here, which is this, and I can copy the client ID from here without going on detail page, and I can just replace. Okay, I have selected implicit here, auth URL. I don't need to change, and now here I will replace the client ID. So notice now you have not been asked to enter client secret, and it is not asking for token URL because they are not needed here. For scopes, you can leave this empty, and client authentication, you can just select as it is and click on get new access token. Okay, now see, open Postman. Okay, authentication is completed. Now am getting this error and I don't know whether this is the behavior of Postman or not, but yeah, it is not able to grab that token in Postman, but you have received the token. And if you notice in the URL, you have received the access token, which is this. And if you copy the entire and open the notepad file, then you can see you have also received a ID token. Okay, and the token type is bearer. So I can just copy this. ID token again in jwt.io, and you can see it is containing the same information. Okay, so this is also a valid ID token, which I mean similar to what we have received in code grant flow. So yeah, I mean this is how you can obtain access token and ID token for implicit flow as well. But yeah, I mean I don't know whether Postman is having some issue or not, but yeah, eventually you can grab those information from the URL. So yeah, this is how you can get access token or ID token from Cognito using Postman. So this is what I had to cover in this video. I hope you will like this video, and if you have really liked this video, then please hit like button and follow me or subscribe my YouTube channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.